future's far away, but I'll stay, I'll stay. Just take a leap of faith, we'll find a way for you and me. Can't look back, can't run from what I feel inside. There's no more time to hide, because I feel again, I feel again. Oh, now I feel again. We're bringing this back to life. I feel it again, I feel it again, I feel again. We're bringing this back to life. Help me find the right words to say to get us back on our way. Can we try to fight against the grain of throwing out what we made? The future's far away, but I'll stay, I'll stay. Because I feel again, I feel again. Oh, now I feel again. We're bringing this back to life. We're picking up where we left off and on again. We never quite could forget, 'cause what we got so intense. I feel it again, I feel it again, I feel again. We're bringing this back to life.
Better off as strangers. Believe me when I say, loving me is loving danger. Your heart is bound to break. I walk alone in the night, neath the pale moon. Loving's for the fools. Baby, beware of my bite. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a
Hillary Clinton on who she was when it comes down to politics.
right, guys. We are here. Don't worry. We haven't missed a day yet. Someone just literally drove into his front door. Well, not into the front door, but into his house. All right, guys. I've just got home. So, welcome, guys. Welcome to the Unbiased Perspectives podcast. We are up to number 10. We have hit 10 episodes. Well done. Congrats. Yes.
I am confused about the numbering on the channel though, but yeah.
Well, it's basically goes up by one, except for there's been one or two that were. Yeah.
And apparently there's two unbiased perspectives 6. Did you notice?
Really? That might have been me fucking up. I don't know. We're hashtag professionals around here. We don't make mistakes. All right.
Fun times though.
All right. So, did you end up jumping into that podcast that link for the Watch Together?
Professionalism. I didn't. I'm loading it now.
All right. Guys, because
it works.
Hopefully, because otherwise we're screwed. Because, guys, obviously the first story for today is Anthony Weiner. And, well, the Clinton body count. So, we're demonetized. Yes. Obviously, Anthony Weiner has a rather strong reaction when PBD asks them about the body list. Now, obviously, so some of you guys don't know, PBD is obviously it's the Patrick Benedict Daly or whatever his name is. Patrick is his name. That's all I know. His name's Patrick. And he's obviously gone through and he had Anthony Weiner on his show. First of all, kudos to you. I do have a theory about why Anthony Weiner is apparently going on podcasts. We'll get to that in a sec. But this is a 18-minute video. So, guys, grab a drink if you don't have one by now. And basically, we'll go through and we'll try and make this full screen. So, watch together. And done. Okay. So, we'll go through and resize that.
Dear.
Totally professional people. 100%.
It looks like my browser has too many privacy extensions. I don't think it's working.
Oh yeah, I was wondering about that actually.
Oh dear. I might have to open it in what do you call it? I think I'll have to open it in Edge.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah, I have to drop all the shields. I think they want my data.
Oh no. Oh, also there is something else that we can talk about that is controversial.
Yeah, it's working now.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
And top.
So as you start and stop the video.
What? Stop? What? Stop? What?
Yeah. As you start and stop the video, it'll do it for me too.
Yes.
All right. We're raising our production value here, everyone.
Yeah. We are hashtag being professional. And I might have slightly stole that from DG. And the bottom, we'll say 200. 180. Yeah, 185. Yeah. Left is, say, 155. And the right is 105. No, 1010. There, that looks good. and close. And then we put it there, and we go like there. And then we filter, we add aspect ratio. Okay. And we'll leave it at bicubic, and we'll change it to that. 16:9. Got it. All right, guys, there we go. Hashtag professional. Right. Guys, so this is obviously the podcast with Anthony Weiner, and as you can see from the top, he has a bit of a meltdown. So let's jump into it. Let's watch this, and then we can break it down.
You were very eloquent on the way you defended Hillary Clinton, on who she was when it comes down to politics. Are you still close to that family?
I'm not.
Okay. So who do you think between the two was a better politician? You think Bill's the better politician? Do you think Hillary's the better politician?
I don't think Hillary was a particularly good politician.
Okay, so she's a better strategist, you would say. She's more strategic, power.
She is a classic blooming where she's potted kind of public official.
Yeah.
Everything that she has been given to do. I watched her, as a rookie elected official come into New York and become an amazing senator. I watched her at Secretary of State be like she blooms where she's potted. She knows government well. She's smart as a very, very smart person.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that it's hard. I think it was hard for her to get her sea legs, being the first woman candidate of a major party. I think it was hard for her to get her sea legs in the framing of Bill Clinton's.
I just want to say, he went to say the first woman president there and corrected himself.
Yeah.
It's also...
Sea legs?
Yeah, I didn't get that either. It's also very, very interesting that he talks about how he's not friends with that, or not close with that family anymore.
Oh.
So, like, so at the start here, we'll rewind it. Listen to what PDB says.
You were very...
Oops.
You were
Why does it keep stopping?
very eloquent on the way you defended Hillary Clinton, on who she was when it comes down to politics. Are you still close to that family?
I'm not.
Okay. So,
So he says, are you still close to that family? And he says, I am not. So that's in itself is very, very interesting. Let's keep going.
Wife. I think it was a lot of things, a lot of challenge she faced that you and I would not face on the campaign.
do you think she's a good person?
I do.
Okay. So, when we, announced the fact that we're
I did say, I do think that's interesting. Do you think she's a good person? I do.
Oh, I remember who this guy is now.
Yeah, so this is Mr. Emails ordering, 4,000 hot dogs. Right? Now,
Yeah. God, this is a throwback to like 2015, 16, isn't it?
Well, no, this video is only a few hours old.
No. I mean, like when we first heard of him.
Oh yeah. Like back
All
in
that-
when we
the
first.
Pizzagate.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And they do talk about all that too. So
Oh my god. Okay.
yeah, and like he talks about the Hillary Clinton body count list, and he kind of loses his shit. Spoilers. Let's keep going.
interviewing you, we kind of crowdsource with the audience what questions do you want to ask, and then our research team will go and say, hey, is there any credibility to this or not? And then we don't waste our time. So, hey, we're having Anthony Weiner on. Great. So you have to ask him about Frazzle Drip. Go look it up. Oh, this video is a deep fake. No, any credibility to it on what happened with Hillary Clinton, Huma, and all this stuff? Nope, we're not going to ask him about that because I don't yet see a real source. A lot of it was stuff that, conspiracy, all this stuff that's being said. We're not going there. Yeah, you need to ask him about
Frazzle Drip?
Pizzagate because that's exactly what's going on with kids. No, we're not going there. That's not
All right, gotcha. So now they're talking about Pizzagate.
something we're going to be asking him about. Yeah, you need to ask him about this, and you need to ask him about this. I said, okay. All of these things that they said we have to ask you about. To be fair, it's Bill Clinton officiated your wedding with Huma, your wife, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
So you've been very close, and your wife, is it still wife or is it ex-wife? I think it's separated since 2017, right?
We're separated. We co-parent Jordan, but we're separated.
Okay. And, she was a right-hand person to Hillary Clinton in 2016 while the scandal was taking place.
For years before that,
Yeah.
she was with Hillary she's 20 years.
And the whole thing with the life insurance, you know, the email, 650,000, one folder with the word life insurance and the files that are in there. So the next thing that people said you got to ask him is the following. So
that's curious. Like, he mentions that life insurance and the 650,000. Now, it's been a while since I covered this, right? About 4 years. But my understanding was Aberdeen had a folder called life insurance, and in that folder was a life insurance policy for Anthony Weiner for several $1 million. And we always thought that was very, very suspect. The fact that because he knew nothing about it. He knew nothing about this life insurance policy when the news broke. She took it out on him without his knowledge. My understanding, like I said, I'd have to go back and recheck, right? But you watch it here is PBD mentions it too, and he's sort of like, he has a bit of a weird reaction in his face. Let's rewind it like a second.
the next thing.
That's what's his reaction.
The next thing that people said you got to ask him.
See there, he sort of like shakes his head. Now and he's looking a little bit upset already. He's going to get a lot more upset. Don't worry. But you can see his eyes are sort of like he's angry. He's upset that this is being sort of mentioned, because you can see it in his face. He looks like he's pissed. Right?
It's the following. So, you know, Rob, if you can pull up this story, I'm not going to buy into this one. Well, 9 out of 12 cops, NYPD, who saw the email and saw what was in that laptop, you know, committed suicide. And it was, you know, 7 of them since June, and it was the most ever that this took place. And these are the men that committed suicide. So then we went and looked it up, and we're like, no, they did commit suicide, but it wasn't linked directly to seeing the laptop or the intel there. No problem. So again, no credibility there. So there's no reason to ask you the question about the 9 out of 12 cops that saw it.
You
in
shouldn't
NYPD.
even be listing them and giving it oxygen.
No, my
but
job
go
is to
ahead.
listen, because I like to
No,
read.
list them. You should.
Now, this is the interesting thing, right? His argument is you shouldn't be mentioning it because it's giving it oxygen. I find that interesting, right? Is that these conspiracy theories and hashtag like conspiracy theories are out there, and their response is don't give it oxygen, don't talk about it, which, as we both know, doesn't stop the fucking conspiracy theory.
No, I know, but I'm actually really surprised he's bringing it up too, especially the Frazzle one. I'm like, God.
Oh, dude, it gets better. It gets better.
Yeah.
Don't you worry. Like, I can tell you now, PBD is not getting any Democrats on his show for like years.
Never
after.
again.
Yeah, after this, they're like just and like well, don't you worry, we'll watch the whole thing.
Shouldn't be listing these
Yeah.
things.
Well,
these things
it is
are
what it is.
destructive. People have actually
these
had
are
violence
conspiracy
done over these
theories.
things.
These are conspiracy
Correct.
theories that
all
some
that have
people
books about them, though. That I
right.
wouldn't
But the one
recommend you
thing
read.
that we did look up that wasn't a conspiracy theory was the following. And this is the one that's kind of weird.
I like the fact you see PBD, they like take a deep breath, like, oh boy, here we go.
And first thing I ask myself is, how the hell is our guy here, Anthony Weiner, still alive? What do you mean by that? Well, when you go through the list of people that have been close to Hillary Clinton and the Clintons and the Deadpool, this is not a conspiracy. You got the names of James McDougal, okay, Clinton's convicted Whitewater partner, died of an apparent heart attack. You know, Mary Mahoney, a former White House intern, was murdered July 1997 at a Starbucks coffee shop in Georgetown.
Ron Brown, he died in a
Vince
in
Foster,
a plane crash.
Vince Foster
What is
was
this?
Vince Foster was the next one. He, by the way, the James Dougal was a key witness in a key Ken Starr
Ron
investigation.
Brown was in a plane crash. Why is he on the list?
Ron Brown is another one, but there was a close person to this. Victor Razor, you got Paul Tooley, Ed Woolley.
Wait a minute.
Wiley.
You're reading a list of people that Bill and Hillary
I'm
Clinton
asking
knew.
you,
They're 80.
well,
They're 70
but wait a
something
minute.
years old.
I'm asking you
Of course
this
people
question.
die.
I'm asking you this question and an answer at the end. So you got Jerry Parks, Jane Bunch, James
man.
Wilson,
You're
Kathy
better- you're-
Ferguson, Bill
you're
Shelton,
better than
Candy
this.
Bow,
You're better than this,
Florence
pal.
Martin, Susan Coleman, Paula Grober, Dan Danny Casolero,
Holy crap,
Paula
I didn't know it
Wilker,
was
John
I don't know any of these
Parnell
names.
Walker, Barbara
wait.
Rice. We should
It's
verify
better.
this yourself because you're running a radio show. You should look it up.
I don't
Charles
know any of
Meisner,
these
Dr.
names,
Stanley
my man.
Hurd, Barry Beal, Barry Seal,
Here,
Johnny
can you
Lawhorn,
read me the
Stanley
URL you're reading?
Higgins,
Can you read me the URL
Herschel.
you're
We'll
reading?
send you the most credible source
let
you
your
can look it
listeners
up.
know
Herschel
what you're-
Friday.
what
We
you're
will.
reading
We'll
and
put the
list
link
up.
below. We'll put the
Just
link
tell
below.
me so I know what I'm
Herschel
responding
Friday,
to.
Kevin Ivy, Dan Henry, Keith
Wow, this
Coney,
doesn't stop.
and these were part of the Ivy Henry case. Keith McCaskill.
What's the Ivy Henry case?
You can look it up. Ivy Henry case. So Gregory Collins, Jeff Rowe.
The one thing I want to say is, by the way, the list is still going. And by the way, we're demonetized now. But what I was going to say was, it's interesting. He keeps trying to get him off this list. Did you?
Yeah.
Like, let's
Yeah,
rewind.
no, I know.
Yeah. Like, he
He's
keeps...
also playing dumb. Do you think he is dumb about it? Or?
No, God, no. But
No.
the thing is that he keeps saying to PDD, oh, what's that? Oh, I don't know that. Oh, what's that? I don't know that. He's trying to stop him from listing these people because he knows how extensive this list is. But let's
Oh, it's really big, yeah.
keep going.
It's James Milland, Richard Winter,
By the way, everybody at home, we're up to 34. It keeps
Wow.
going.
and then you got the close bodyguards, Major
Chemsick at
William
the bottom.
Barkley, Captain Scott Reynolds, Brian Hanley, Tim Sable,
What
General
do you?
William
You don't
Robertson,
even know what you're reading a
William
list of. How is this? How is
Densperger,
this helpful?
Robert Kelly, Colonel Gary Rhodes, Steve Wills, Robert Williams, Conway
this gonna
LeBlue,
be-
Todd
is this gonna
McKeon.
be
I'm
included
done.
in the show?
It's 46 names. And
Of what?
when
Can you read
when
me the list?
when
Can you read me the URL so
when
I know what you read a list of
when
before I answer any questions
when I
about it?
finish this, stillinthestorm.com. You can look it up. So,
Stillinthestorm.com.
you can
This
look
is
it
your
up.
big moment, guys.
Yeah, so you can go. And by the way,
Ads about.
Now, I like the fact that, so for example, say I was to say to you, I have a name of, say for example, someone was to come up to you, right? And say that your co-host, hypothetically, is a government official and he has 46 names of people that are around him, that have worked for him or have known him, who have died in the past 20 years. Would you sit there and think, I'm going to do tomorrow's show? Or would you be like, fuck this, I'm out?
Yeah. By the way, like, he just got this guy on his podcast, right?
Yes.
And
3 hours,
and I'm just like,
13 hours ago.
Yeah,
so,
and-
yeah.
yeah, and I'm super surprised he goes that hard on him. It's like he must know what he's doing. He's never going to get anyone like this ever again on his podcast.
Dude, you got to remember, PBD here is the same guy that flew to Romania and did a 4.5 hour interview with Andrew Tate.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He
And
is not afraid to like ask questions.
No, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like I mean, it's also then I guess it's also amazing then that Anthony Weiner showed up.
Well, that I think is because PBD, it just happens to be in the sweet spot, right? He's in the sweet spot where he's famous, he's building up, but he's not stratosphere sort of level of well known. Most people probably don't know who he is, or he hasn't had that reputation where he asks, like he hasn't had a lot. And Anthony Weiner actually talks about it here. Anthony Weiner says he asked friends whether he should go onto the podcast, and they turned around and said, "Oh, we don't really know him much." That was sort of the reaction I got. Yeah.
Well played.
Yeah, but don't worry, guys. It goes downhill from now. Like, if you think Anthony Weiner right now is pissed, let's just wait.
About chemtrails at the end of it.
He hasn't even asked the question.
by the
He's
way-
just reading the article.
He's reading a list of names.
So-
He hasn't even asked the
Asking to me-
question. It's a list.
the fact that you're getting nervous is an answer.
It's not
okay?
nervous. This stuff
Let
makes
me
me
wrap
sick
it.
when you repeat
Exactly, it
these
makes us sick as
ridiculous-
well. It also makes us
obviously
sick.
doesn't. It
Of course,
obviously
because
doesn't.
the establishment
you
makes us
start
sick.
the question by reading a list of well-founded
Your reaction is an answer.
conspiracy. I know these things make me sick, and people
Your
have gotten
reaction
killed.
is an
over it.
answer.
Someone went into a pizza parlor in
Yes.
Washington because they believe this shit, and you're making an echo chamber.
rea-
The guy that this pisses me off. Pizzagate was not about a pizza parlor in Washington. Pizzagate was about elites trafficking children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What the fuck did fucking Epstein get arrested for? Trafficking fucking children to elites. What do you mean it's about a fucking pizza shop? It's not about the fucking shop. It's about the fucking children. And I can't believe this little fucking cunt is sitting there trying to discredit it. It pisses me off. Fucking years I've been covering Pizzagate. You and I, apart from fucking Luke Wadowski from We Are Change, were probably one of the early ones on the fucking scene about this shit. How many times have we talked about Pizzagate? The guy that walked into the pizza shop had an IMDb movie page. He was an actor. I found the page. He was a D-list actor who had one movie out, and then he just happens to walk into the pizza shop, point a gun at people, get arrested, get the cops called, and then when the cops turned up, he all of a sudden puts the gun down, walks out, surrenders himself, and no one really hears much about it after that.
Yep. That's that's a plant,
Yes!
Similar, yeah, cops do that all the time. They got like undercover people and stuff that do things.
Like, I can back up what I say about this. Who was the, so, Pizzagate. What was the guy that walked in? Pizzagate Conspiracy, here it is.
Yeah.
Well, we're already demonetized, so let's fucking go. Let's go down this rabbit hole, people. So the thing started, actually Pizzagate started, my understanding was because of Anthony Weiner and his laptop.
Correct, yeah.
Yes. So harassment of the shop and the employees. Right, it was this, James Fontanis, who, by the way, had a whole bunch of creepy art in his pizza shop, but anyway.
Yeah, I do remember that as well.
Yeah,
The really weird art stuff that was on the walls.
that was just magically taken down too. Comet Ping Pong was the resort. And they, oh wow, they don't even mention his name. Where's his name?
Yeah. Was there actually one thing I do I remember? Was there ever? Did anyone ever find out why it was called Comet Ping Pong?
No.
Because that's also kind of weird. Like, who
Yeah.
names a pizza parlor Comet Ping Pong? Very strange.
I can't find his name. They don't want to mention his name, do they? Because he was a fucking actor. So Edgar Madison Walsh.
Wow, you actually got the name.
DB. Oh, bro, I'm getting really good at searching this. Oh, sorry. Fucking wrong button. Yeah, is that him there, maybe? So this is claiming this is this Edgar Walsh here. Right. Now, let's compare that to a photo of. Let's see. So here it is. On North Carolina arrived at Common Ping Pong, shot an AR star from the restaurant, and walked door. Ward told police that he had planned to self-investigate a conspiracy theory. He had heard online. So here's the thing, right? If you've heard that a pizza shop has a whole bunch of children in the basement, right, and you wanted to investigate, would you walk in with an AR-15, or would you walk in with a uniform, like a worker's uniform, try and blend in and try and find some way down to the basement yourself with a camera?
Yeah, I think it makes more sense to kind of do the whole sleuthy thing, you know.
Because guess what? Walking into a pizza shop with a gun does. It gets cops to turn up. That's all it does.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, following a plea agreement with prosecutors, Welding pled guilty to a federal charge of interstate transport of a firearm and the local the weapon. Or he agreed to pay $5,744 to the damages to the restaurant. He was sentenced to 4 years in prison, June 22, 2017. At the sentencing, Walsh apologized for his conduct and said it had been foolish and reckless. He was transferred to community correctional center and was released on the 28th of May of 2000. So he served about 2 or 3 years in jail. A guy walks in to a pizza shop with a gun, threatens the owners, shoot rounds into the roof, and gets 2 years in jail. Mind you, by the way, here's a better thing for you, crossed federal lines with a firearm.
Oh, he did? Oh, no.
What? Wasn't that what they were going after Kyle Rittenhouse about? What were they?
Crossing state lines.
What were they going to throw Kyle Rittenhouse into jail for? 20 years?
Yeah. The other thing is, I'd believe it. I'd believe it if it, like, I don't know. I don't believe he served a day in jail. I doubt it.
Oh, look, he probably did. But I reckon, look, I think this guy was some D-list movie actor who was probably on Struggle Street or on drugs or a combination of God knows what. And they probably...
possibly that stuff too, yeah.
Yeah, and they said to him, you walk into the pizza shop, fire a couple of rounds into the roof, cops are going to show up, we'll arrest you, you'll do 2 years in jail, when you get out, you'll have $5 million, $3 million, $1 million, whatever it is.
Yeah, true. What's his net worth? Is that... yeah, I don't know if we can find that out.
Or
Private.
Or did he win a lottery when he got out of jail? You know, like...
Yeah, true.
But yeah, it's but like I said, like this guy supposedly walked into a pizza shop, threatened the lives of patrons and the owners, fired rounds into the roof, all this sort of stuff, carried a gun across state lines, and apparently all that stuff. They say here that he pled guilty. Was charged with interstate transportation of a firearm. He carried a gun across state lines. They wanted to throw Kyle Rittenhouse in jail for 20 years for that. This guy got 2. He got 2 years carrying a gun across state lines, walking into a pizza shop, firing rounds into a roof, and then putting down the gun and peacefully walking out when the cops showed up. By the way, same guy has an IMDb page. Not suspect here at all, guys. Don't look into this. Just consume products and keep moving on with your life. And this is the stuff that Anthony Weiner is trying to discredit right now. He's going on about, oh my God, it's a conspiracy theory. Dude, it was your laptop that told us about this shit.
Yeah.
And by the way, PBD actually brings up his reputation with young boys in a minute or two. It's
oh way.
Yeah, dude, like if you guys are not subscribed to Value Entertainment, fucking subscribe. These guys are really good.
Oh my God! All right, this guy is legendary. BPD PPDs this is it. This is viral moments right here.
Let's keep going with the video.
Reaction is an answer. So let me go to it here now.
No.
So-
No.
Your reaction is an answer.
He doesn't even want him to ask the question because he knows what the question's going to be. He knows the question is, how the hell does someone for the past 20 years have 46 people that have died around her? And by the way, I presume that list is probably incomplete. I presume that list is a very bare bones one because there was one a few months ago. There was a guy a few months ago, about 6 months ago, who supposedly tied himself to a tree, shot himself with a shotgun, and then threw the shotgun 30 feet away while he supposedly was still tied to the tree dying. Guess what? Former Clinton aide. Another one bites the dust.
That's the strangest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's weird.
Shot himself with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Through a shotgun.
Yeah. And then, yeah. Weird that, isn't it?
List. Yeah, my reaction is my reaction.
Yeah,
Can you
exactly.
tell me what that list, in your view?
You
what would-
haven't allowed me to finish. If you allow me to finish the
because you're
question,
reading 46
then you
random
can
names
do
off the internet
whatever you
of
want.
some fucking insane website.
They're not. Like you can tell he's pissed. They're
You
not.
know what? When he asked him, "How are you still alive?" Do you think the result of going on this podcast is he's not going to be alive in a week?
Well, yeah. Anthony Weiner might bite the dust. He might need that life insurance policy from Omar. But
He gets added to the list that he doesn't want to listen to.
yeah, Anthony Weiner just doesn't realize that he's on the list. He's just 55 or 60. She just hasn't got that far yet.
I love your answer
And
because
these people who you don't even know who they are, you're reading them on a list of something, making some kind of as if it's somehow suspicious. You don't even know who these human beings are, who have families, who are like out there, and now
I'll spend the next
reading.
2 hours with you one by one, explaining
Fine.
who each of these individuals are if you want to do
fine.
that.
How about you pick one? Pick one and tell me who he was and what his story was.
Tom.
No, not you. You were asking me the question. Pick one name
I
and
will.
then tell me.
Pull up Vince Foster if you want.
No,
Go-
Vince
go-
Foster, that suicide has been investigated 50 times. Pull
Yeah.
out the names you pull. Why do you
Pick one!
Ron Brown. Ron Brown, a commerce.
Pick one. Go on, pick one. All right, Vince Brown. That suicide has been investigated 50 times.
It has.
Apparently, well, according to Anthony Weiner. So actually, what's the list here? So it was
Yeah,
Vince.
let's pull it up as well. Yep.
So it was Vince Brown, right? Was it Vince Foster or Vince? Yeah, Vince Foster, former White House counselor and colleague of Hillary Clinton at Little Rock's Rose law firm, died of a gunshot wound to the head. It was ruled a suicide.
Why would some aide kill themselves?
Oh, maybe he was just depressed.
Oh, okay.
But
He doesn't. Yeah.
But this is the thing, right? You go through this list. Ron Brown, Security of Commission's former DNC chair, reported have died by impact by plane crash. A pathologist close to the investigation reported that there was a hole in the top of Brown's skull resembling a gunshot wound.
Oh yeah. That happens all the time. Yeah, plane crashes. Sometimes little loose things just fly around during the crash.
Yeah.
and make a gunshot.
Yeah, Nothing to see here. Just consume products, everybody. At the time of his death, Brown was being investigated and spoke publicly of his willingness to cut a deal with prosecutors. The rest of the people on the plane also died. A few days later, the air traffic controller committed suicide.
Oh no!
Holy shit.
I've not heard of most of these. I know that there's a massive list. I never actually looked it up though.
No. I think anybody that looks this list up better get a VPN. Let's get going.
How do
Pick
you
a
know what the
name.
question is?
Yeah.
Pick a name.
I'm going to ask you a question.
reading
And you get
a
to
list
answer
of people who
or not
probably
answer.
and there are some of those people that had military titles in front of them, and you're
Exactly.
dragging their
That's
name.
even
through,
the point.
You're dragging their name
That's
through
even the
and
point.
You should be ashamed
because
of yourself.
their families would want to know.
Because you've got a podcast.
Some of their
you can
families
read
would want to know.
some conspiracy theory podcast, some conspiracy theory that 9 people
I
read.
got
You
you.
find some guy that comes in, and then
Congratulations, buddy.
you go from Ron Brown to some obscure officer
Yes.
that used to protect Bill Clinton, who passed away. May he rest in peace for his
May
service.
all of them rest
and
in peace.
you are dragging them into some
May
wacky
all of them
conspiracy
rest
theory.
in peace. May all of them rest in
Wacky.
peace. So here's the question for
It's
you.
wacky
Because
conspiracy.
millions of people are not convinced Hillary Clinton is
Again,
a good
with the
person.
other people, millions of
including
people.
myself. If you want to do that, I'm not
put the questions
I'm not
in your
worried
own.
about.
Don't
ask
try
the
to make
question.
it about some bozo who put up a website. Put in your own words.
Here's a question for you, Guy. It's a very simple question for you. So, how is it when you think about other candidates? Okay, everybody has a stereotype. You have a reputation whether you like it or not. What's your reputation? Your reputation is you like to text underage girls and you like to talk to girls and you sex sending pictures of your dangling. That's your reputation. Whatever you do, you can't do anything about it. Adam has a reputation.
Holy shit! He went there.
Wow.
Holy fuck! He went there. Oh,
This is like nothing I've ever seen before.
I'm gonna say now, PBD, you got some balls, bro. You got some balls.
You know what I'm watching after the show.
You
I'm
watching-
bringing this up and watching it.
The whole thing. So it went up. I saw it 3 o'clock this morning, and it had been up for 3 hours. So it must have gone up around 12 o'clock our time. So yeah, but it's on the Value Entertainment show. It's on their YouTube channel. They do a lot of stuff when it comes to like interviewing like Manosphere. They do a lot of stuff like interviewing like tycoons, people that make a lot of money. It's all the same sort of thing like what Tate does. That's why they went and interviewed Andrew Tate. And they had a 4.5 hour interview with Andrew Tate. And then they did another hour interview with his brother Tristan. And then there's 45 minutes of the interview with Andrew Tate that they can't release until after Tate has been released or found innocent, because he talks about the Romanian justice system, and if they release it beforehand, it can affect Andrew Tate's lawyers and court case and stuff. But I'm not sure what's on that 45-minute tape. But yeah, but holy shit, PBD, dude, you got some balls. You really, really do. But
You know, something interesting is I'm actually wondering, like, actually, where is it? Because if you go to Valuetainment channel, yeah,
I can. I'll send it. I'll find it later and I'll send you a link. But
yeah, no worries, yeah.
Adam is a playboy in Miami.
Better get back to that list.
Adam's a playboy in Miami. Adam has a reputation for being a playboy in Miami, to be honest.
List of strangers you read a
trust
list
me,
of.
I'm getting back to it. Tom's got a reputation. His reputation is a man who
And right now,
loves
your
his wife,
reputation is listing
and-
strangers
and
who
I-
served in the military and dragging their name
I
through the
have a
dark.
reputation to ask tough questions and piss some people like you off. That's my
including
reputation.
dead people who I'm going to stand up for.
Oh, trust me, we are standing up for them more than you are
Let's
standing
see.
up for them.
Let's see. You better get
My
back to that list
my
because we're going to
question-
clear some people's names today.
My question for you is, how is it that in the last 50 years, we don't have a single candidate? Everybody has their own. Hey, John F. K. was a playboy with Marilyn Monroe. Trump, Karen McDougal, Stormy Daniels. You know, George Bush linked to 9/11 and weapons of mass destruction. Bill Clinton linked to Arkansas women, all this others. Everybody has a reputation. How is it that the reputation that follows them is people close to them die? Why
All
is
right.
that a story that
People-
many people believe in? Why is
How
that?
are the Clintons in their 70s yet? You don't think I can make a list of other people who are 70-something years old and say this person
How
died,
come
that
they haven't
person
done
died,
that
this
with
person
Bush?
died? Hold on.
How come they haven't done that with Bush?
My mum and dad are in their 70s. They don't have half the people that there's on that list. My parents don't even have fucking 5 people on that list that have died. The argument that, they're in their 70s, That's why they have 46 people around him that have just magically died in weird circumstances. Yeah, you're going to have a few names. Yeah, you could go through and you could probably say, oh, you know, like there's this one, this one, this one. Even those names on that list. You could probably clear some of the names off that list. You know, there's a guy who probably died of a heart attack. That was probably on the up and up. The guy that died in a plane crash after he got supposedly a bullet hole in his head, I'm going to think that's a little weird. You know, someone shot him maybe and then killed him by dropping a plane on him. And then the aircraft control tower supposedly dies a week later from suicide. That's 3 people close to her who have died over one instance. Tell you what, Hillary, don't buy a fucking lotto ticket because you're not the luckiest woman alive by this stage. You have a lot of people around you that just have a lot of bad luck.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway.
Well, she's in the same age.
I have no freaking idea why they haven't.
come they haven't done that with
hold on a
Trump?
second. But so are you saying? So you agree with what
How
I'm
come
saying?
they
But
haven't done that with Reagan?
So
How come they haven't done that with Kerry?
what point are you making about these men and women
How
who you
is it
listed?
so many people close to them died? How is it so many people
close to
them
everybody
as
dies.
How
are
is
you
it so
suggesting?
many?
Okay.
I'm asking the question.
You're
is what
asking a
I'm doing.
bizarre question.
Exactly.
Did
It's
people
pissing you
die?
off.
Did people die? No. What pisses me off, and I'm going
Is
to say
what?
this again because you apparently are not listening to me. You had a list
Yeah.
of people off an obscure website that of conspiracy theory, taking a Venn diagram of everyone that ever worked in the orbit of
solved it.
someone who served in
It's an
public life
obscure
for
website.
50
Yeah, don't worry about
years.
it.
And you listed them, including people in the military, including strangers you could not pull out of a. And you are implying
let me
that
simplify
there's
it
something
for you,
nefarious. Let me
man.
finish my thought. Let me finish my
simplify.
thought.
Please do so, 'cause I got another
Let me
source
finish my
coming in
thought.
here for you.
You're implying both
Yeah.
with the question and with the website. The website says it explicitly.
I'll
You're
give you
implying
another
it. Let
website.
me finish.
Go ahead.
You're
Don't pull it up
implying that
until
something.
he's done.
You
Don't
are
pull it up until
implying.
he's done. Go for it.
You are implying that something nefarious is afoot both with the question
Yeah.
and with the list. Hillary Clinton, she's a big girl. I'm a big boy. You're a big boy. The people that you just listed.
They're all-
Listen to me. No, these
Yeah.
are obscure people that you could
You're
not
a
pull out of.
great politician, buddy.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Fantastic.
You know what? You are the classic bully. You list someone's name,
You
and
are
you going to
classic-
go back
if
and
there's
clarify?
anybody
it?
that's the
Are
bully,
you
it's
going to go
you.
clarify?
You know what the
Are you going to
qualities of your
clarify this
personality
list?
is. You
I
wanna
don't want
really
you
know
can
that.
ad hominem attack on me.
Yeah.
Is going to somehow
Classic
clear that
bully.
person's name.
There isn't anybody at this table that's a bigger bully than
I
you.
tell you. Oh yeah. You just
Yeah.
listed some stranger with
Very
PFC.
good,
with
deceptive
PFC.
way of pinning. Good
Look
for
at
you guys.
You're reading some.
Good
you're,
for you.
You're reading a conspiracy website.
Good
and it's like,
for you.
Some people say.
Yeah.
Some people
Pull
say.
up the Wikipedia
Look at that fucking
Rob I
website.
just sent to you. Pull up the Wikipedia. Is
you wanna-
Wikipedia a conspiracy website?
You want to take?
No.
You want to take a run at me?
Wikipedia-
Bring it all day,
Okay,
pal.
no, hey,
bring it all day.
sweetheart,
Take a run at me.
Clinton
Do not,
body count.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Right at the top. Wait, can I throw a
What-
mic I can drop? Conspiracy.
What's
right at the top.
What's the point with that?
The point is, conspiracy
point with
theories are
that?
by their very definition.
Adam is just sitting there thinking, I don't want to fucking die. I'm not talking.
Yeah.
Adam's just...
You know what I mean? I can totally see that. He's you know, wait. You know what that look right there you've paused it on is?
Yeah. Oh shit, I'm gonna die.
Yes, exactly. Fuck, he's probably thinking, oh god, where, I don't know when it's gonna happen. I'm so fucked.
Yeah. I'm gonna be driving my car. I'm gonna be just going through lights. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
all the traffic lights are gonna go green, and I'm gonna get cleaned
Yep.
out by a great big truck. And on the side, it's gonna have something like "Hillary thanks you for your service" or some shit. That's what Adam's thinking right now is we are fucked. I can't believe Patrick has done this. He has killed every one of us. And he's probably sitting there thinking, get the fucking camera off me, point it back on PBD, because if anyone's going to go down, it's fucking him, not me.
He has someone who has a body count that or is associated with people who have the power to kill that many people. He's, my god, like someone needs to just get like a sample of that guy's nuts and just find out what metal it's made of, because we don't fucking know.
And like I said,
It's
this list is probably not the complete list too, by the way.
yeah.
There's probably names they've missed. Like, I don't know anyone that sat down and gone through and went through the whole of Hillary Clinton's life and found every person that's died around her. I imagine if she, just say hypothetically she has been doing this, right? She has been bumping people off for years. I imagine that you
Is it
could...
really a hypothetical?
I imagine you could probably go through and you'll probably find that she's been doing this for a very long time.
Oh yeah.
There's probably names that we don't even know about.
Oh, yeah. There'll be plenty of people that are not known yet.
Yeah.
Maybe one day, we'll find out.
Well, one day when I get bored, I'll make sure Omar has my life insurance policy beforehand. Let's keep going.
And
How come other
unsubstantiated.
people don't have this conspiracy theory? How come Reagan doesn't have this conspiracy theory?
Oh, wait a minute.
How
Hold
come
it.
Bush doesn't have this conspiracy
Newsflash on
theory?
the PDB
How come
podcast.
John Kerry
People
doesn't
say
have this
shit about the
conspiracy theory?
Clintons. Oh, wow.
Oh,
Really?
Why do they, though? Some of the stereotypes are true. Like, you have some reputation. It's true, some of it. Some of the stuff they say about other people
That's
is
not
true.
a stereotype. That's a made-up story about strangers.
How come others don't have that made-up story?
People have it all the time. Look at the internet.
Give me another body count with another president or candidate. Give me another person.
Do you really think that someone
Pull up,
within the
do me a favor and pull up another Barack Obama body count.
Do you really think? Oh, go. Why don't you go to Barack Obama?
But he's right. She's the only person I know that has seemingly her own body count list.
Yeah.
By the way, this is the same girl that turned around and said about Gaddafi, we came, we saw, he died, while laughing about it.
Yeah. This is the thing. He's exactly right about that. No one else has this conspiracy theory.
Yeah. And they, Anthony Weiner's going to mention it here. I'll try and find that Hillary Clinton. Anthony Weiner's going to mention it here. But at the end of the day, but obviously there's like people that think Barack Obama was born in Africa and Michelle Obama's a man and all this sort of stuff, right? But no one has a frigging body count. How do you spell Gaddafi? G-A-R... G-U-A-R-T.
I think it's Gadaffi.
Gaddafi.
I think that's the spelling. It could be that, or it could be a Y. I'm not sure. It could be I or Y.
Here it is here.
So, I mean, that is...
If I open a new tab...
Now that I think of it too, if they try to sample this guy's balls, they're probably the scalpel will just crack, just on contact, because the metal is just too hard.
So we are at 1328. His queen allows you to sync videos from any website. No.
You were very eloquent.
Oh wow, you can't actually view it from an outside source. Alright.
You can. There are
You were
some
very,
issues with embedding.
eloquent.
Sometimes it
Razor.
doesn't
You
work.
got Paul Tooley, Edward.
These things make me sick, and people
Your
have gotten reading
reaction-
46.
You want
No,
go,
Vince
go.
Foster didn't see the
Your
rule book.
reaction is already an answer. No.
'Cause I
reputation. Adam is a playboy in Miami.
Better get. So
How come they haven't done that with
what
Kerry?
point are you making about these men and women
How
who you
is it
listed?
so?
Finish my thought. Let me finish my thought.
Please do so,
Let-
because I got to
Listen,
pull up the Wikipedia. Is
you wanted-
Wikipedia conspiracy? What's
about the
conspiracy theory?
Clintons. Oh wow,
Oh,
really?
Why do they though? Some of the stereotypes, like you have some reputation. It's true.
Right, so what we will do is we'll just play it here. Right, and I know obviously it's not perfect, guys, but you get the
is
idea.
the land of unconfirmed.
Look at her. She's gleamingly happy. She's ecstatic. She's like smiling. You can't wipe. Now, by the way, this is after her just learning that he's
So, I
dead.
mean, that is the
Look at her. She's like, oh my God, we did it. Yes.
land of unconfirmed.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
Did it have anything to do with your visit?
No, oh, I'm sure it did.
The
Does he
girl
stand up?
says to her, did it have anything to do with your visit? And she goes, no, I'm sure it did. But anyway. All right, you want to keep going with this, PD, do you think? Because it gets better.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Some of it. Some of the stuff they say about other people
That's
is
not
true.
a stereotype. That's a made-up story about strangers.
How come others don't have that made-up story?
People have it all the time. Look at the internet.
Give me another body count with another president or candidate. Give me
Do
another
you
person.
really think that someone
Pull up,
within the
do me a favor
do
and
you
pull
really
up another
think?
Barack Obama body count.
Do you really think? Oh, you go. Why don't you go to Barack Obama, not born in this country? By the way, where was that podcast? Did you guys do that one?
No, that's never anything we
Why?
discussed.
Oh, why? Oh, come on. Some people say it.
Anthony,
there's a
you're
there's a Wikipedia thing on it. Huh. These people are strangers that you just read a list of, and I think out of deference to them,
You're a dark human
out of-
being,
out of-
guy. You're
settle
pretty
down,
dark.
pal. Settle down.
No. You're
You
pretty
should cut
dark to
that
take
list
the
out.
angle you did. You're
You should
exactly.
cut. Listen to me. Talking to us
yeah.
now.
Oh, okay.
You should cut that list out of those
Sure,
people. We can still have
absolutely.
the argument. You and I.
You should cut that list out. Here's a theory for you. Anthony Weiner
Yeah.
knows that list is true. And now he's reacting so strongly because he knows all of a sudden now there's going to be more pressure on him. He's like, I came, I saw, I slid under the radar. But now all of a sudden he's like, oh shit, I've just been put on a podcast with millions of views and they start asking me about Hillary Clinton body list. He's probably thinking, I'm going to drive home and I'm going to die in a car crash. That's why I think he is reacting so strongly. I think he's reacting so strongly because he knows two things. One, this has killed him as a presidential contender, and we'll get to that in a sec. And two, he knows, oh shit, this is going to put a big target on my back.
Yeah, you could possibly say that Anthony Weiner fucked up by going on here.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
I are big boys.
Absolutely.
Cut that list
I'm
out.
not going to be cutting that list because the world
That's
needs.
right.
Here's what everybody
Yeah,
needs
the
to.
world needs that poor person's family that you can't even name.
Exactly. That some people say, what does it matter now? They're
Some
dead.
people say.
What does it matter now?
Some
They're
people
dead. Can
say.
you play that clip again?
Famous podcast
Play
host
that
says
clip
some
again.
people say.
Play that clip again. What does it matter now? What does it matter
These
now?
people.
What does it matter
change
now?
the subject all you want. Anyone who read that list
no one's changing
is
the
still
subject.
waiting for you to come back
Do
to
you
that list and apologize
Do you
to those
realize
people.
why some people?
Apologize to those
Do
people.
you realize why some people?
You should
are
apologize to those people.
Why do you keep saying that? What does he need
Because
to
those
apologize
people,
about?
listing those people on some obscure website as if something about their death was shrouded in some kind of a mystery dishonors
this
their
is-
memory. Now,
this is
if
fantastic.
you are Hillary Clinton
Fantastic.
if you are Hillary Clinton or Anthony Weiner, that
Yeah.
may sound fine. If you are some
Make it
person,
bigger, please.
if you are some person who has one of these jackasses on the internet showing up
Yeah.
at their doorstep
Yeah.
saying, "Tell me about the
Make
death
it
of your
bigger.
father. How did Hillary Clinton?" We had someone walk into a pizzeria in Washington with a gun because of assholes like
I've
this.
heard that phrase before by other people. Play it again. Play it again. I've heard this phrase
Oh,
a
by the
couple
way,
times.
what's the whole Benghazi? Let's get the whole
With all
Benghazi.
due respect,
it's the phrase.
The fact is, we had
No, let's
4
watch the
dead
Benghazi.
Americans. Was it
It's the
because
phrase.
of a protest, or was it because of
You got a
guys
good
out for a
script.
walk
You
one night and
disagree with
decided to
this?
go kill some
You
Americans?
disagree with her
Listen
point
to
here?
the script.
Difference at
Play
this
that again.
point
Play that
doesn't
three
You
times.
make-
disagree with this
Play
point?
that from the 10-second mark. Not
Yeah,
from
yeah,
that
yeah.
mark.
Play it from the 1 second mark so we really get
right
context.
there, right there. Go play it right
Play
there.
it from the 1/10
Go
of a
ahead.
Kill some
second mark.
Americans. What difference at this point does it
Yeah,
make?
that's what you
Yeah,
sound
but
like.
let's hear it.
What a script.
Let's
You're
hear.
duplicating it very
Let's
well.
hear.
You're
Let's hear.
duplicating
By
that
the way,
script
do you
very well.
disagree with her point?
Of course I do.
You do?
Of course
that
I
it
do.
matters whether it was a protest that came
course
from Libya to that family.
Do you know-
to that family? And by the way, do you know why?
So, I can't say too much about this, but what I can say, I have spoken to someone with intimate knowledge about Benghazi. It is far worse than I know, he told me. I said to him, this is what I know about Benghazi. He says, you know a bit. He says, but it's far worse than anything you know. And I said, far worse for Hillary? He said, yes. I said, dude, if you want to tell me. He said, no. He said, I can't tell you. He said, but trust me. He said, it's far worse than anything you know. That was from a guy in Australian Defence Force, and I'll leave it at that. I won't say any more. But yeah, he said to me that it's far worse than anything I know. And Sat will back me up here. Sat, you know what my thoughts on Benghazi are. How many years have I been going on about Benghazi? We talked about it back in 2016. One of the very first videos that we did, we talked about George Soros, Benghazi, and Hillary Clinton a lot. Hence why this channel is... Yeah. And like he said, it's far worse than you know.
Yep. And talking about stuff like that, that's why the channel is the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably should have been a good little boy and did what I was told, but I don't listen.
Why she cleaned the Republicans' clock in that hearing?
And by the way, I would rather have 10 viewers that are well informed and listen than 1,000 viewers of people where I sit there and I talk about how the Barbie movie is the greatest thing, guys. Oh my God, you just need to sit. It's fucking shit. It's like what Andrew Tate was saying yesterday. He's on a podcast with some of the smartest men in the world, some of the richest men in the world, and all the host wants to talk about was fucking sex. What a fucking disservice you are doing to your podcast. I would rather have 10 viewers where I can talk about shit and real shit than 1,000 or 1,000,000 viewers where we can't talk about this stuff.
Because she talked about how many
cleaned
times...
the clock? She ain't a president, guy. That's cleaning the clock. The American people cleaned her clock.
No, in the Benghazi hearing.
Yeah.
Focus.
Why do you think she's not a president?
Focus.
Why do you think
the
she's not a
Benghazi
president?
hearing. Focus.
The American people
You bring
cleaned
up
her
a
clock.
clip and then you want to change it to 2000.
No,
Let's talk about that clip
what
for a
she
second.
did to the Republicans. So going back to it, here's what you're doing right now, which is fantastic. You just influenced
you don't believe that, do
a
you?
lot of people to go do their own due diligence. You just influence a lot of
you
people
can
to go do their own
find
due
you
diligence.
can find
Go
utter
do it.
dirt. No, you did
Find
that,
out
pal.
for yourself. No,
I saw what you did by listing the conspiracy theories you're not going to ask about.
I'm not
I
gonna
saw
ask
what you
about
did.
those things.
I'm sorry, that was dishonorable.
Yeah, that's which part's dishonorable?
The list of conspiracy theory you know is bullshit, but still putting it out
but
there.
This thing, there's a lot of
I think
credibility sources
people
behind
want
this.
bullshit. It's not true. Look at what you had to cite. Cite any media that you would ever read in your day-to-day life for that.
Cite any media. Basically, because mainstream media doesn't report on it, it's not real. Is what he's saying right here. Fucking Jeffrey Epstein! How many years did we hear the exact same shit from dickweeds like this before Jeffrey Epstein was arrested? Oh, dude, it's a conspiracy theory. I had someone tell me the other day. I was speaking to an elected official, someone that elections, right, runs elections. I said to them, why is it we're still using pencils? Their response...
That's a good question. Yeah, I actually want to know that.
They said because of costs.
Cost?
Yeah. Because it's cheaper than pens. Apparently.
Oh, alright.
Which, to be honest, between you and me, I think is a complete load of shit. You can go down to Coles and you can buy a pack of 10 pens for the same price that you can buy a pack of 5 or 10 pencils. So I didn't even believe that then. Anyway, we got talking and I turned around and I said to her, I said, you can use pens and reuse pens. I said, why is it? She says, it's in the Constitution. I said, is there anything in the Constitution that specifies that it has to be a pencil? She says, well, no. I said, no, it doesn't. I said, it says that you have to supply a writing implement. She goes, yes. I said, which is a pen. She goes, why? Why does it have to be a pen? I said, because a pencil can be rubbed out and changed. Anyway, she started going on about you've been listening to conspiracy theories. I turned around and I said to her, really? I said, because last time there was an election in Australia, dead people voted. Which is true, by the way. She turned around and she said, oh, yeah, small amount. I said, right. I said, but you're the ones here. You're the elected official. Right? I said to her, why is it you don't use pens? Wouldn't you want to go through and try and, at the very least, try and minimize the fraud? She goes, it's a conspiracy theory. It doesn't happen. I said to her, like Jeffrey Epstein was a conspiracy theory. She goes, oh, and she had nothing to say. I said to her, like the vax causes myocarditis and pericarditis? I said, that conspiracy theory? Or I said, or the fact that it came from a lab, a Wuhan lab? I said, that conspiracy theory? Which I said to her, by the way, America now believes, most Americans and the most government officials have actually said it's the most likely theory, that it came from the lab. Well, I believe they've actually just found patient 0 who, by the way, worked in the freaking lab.
Yep.
Let me see. Let's.
Oh, you're on the money, dude. You're hitting it all out of the park.
Patient 0 for COVID worked in the lab.
I am so sick to death of hearing politicians and all these various types say conspiracy theory. It's all a conspiracy theory. It's like it is unreal. It's like that's all they've got. That's all they've ever got. And the thing is most of the time these freaking conspiracy theories end up being true.
Yeah.
At some point.
That's what I said to this girl. I said that the conspiracy theorists are batting 95 at the moment out of 100. I said to her, don't be so hard or don't be so harsh on the conspiracy theorists. Documents linked potential COVID patient 0 to US-funded research in Wuhan. The first Wuhan researcher apparently sickened with COVID in fall of 2020, Ben Hugh, was getting US funding support for risky gain-of-function research on coronaviruses, according to documents obtained through a Freedom of Information Act requested by the transparency advocate organisation, the White Coat Waste Project. The fund came in 3 grants, totaling $41 million. He fucking worked at the lab! Do I need to fucking stand up and start talking out of my ass like fucking Ace Ventura? Because guess what? We were right! It pisses me off when you get dickweeds like this who sit there and will go on, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. So was Epstein Island. So were the flight logs. So was it came from the research, it came from the bio facility. So was myocarditis and pericarditis.
Man, and the crazy thing too is like that flight list, we still don't have all the names.
No, I've got some of the names, but I've got initials on some of it. But we'll keep going.
Go call one of those people.
You still can't answer questions,
Have
can
one
you?
of your No, you make a point now responding to it. Have one of your producers call up one of those families and tell them if they want to be listed in one of these conspiracy podcasts.
You're so sweet for saying that.
Do they want to be? Do they want to be listed? What the fuck does it if they want to be listed or not has to do with them fucking dying? Why are we asking if they want to be listed in the podcast? Shouldn't we be asking how they died?
You're so sweet for playing this deceptive game. I got to tell you from watching you for
Have
the
you
last.
do that?
I got to tell you.
I know
from
this is not what you're used to, man. I'm sorry. It's funny. I texted with someone. Should I give them what they're used to, or should I, whatever? And they said just whatever.
You know how I knew who you were the moment you walked here. You know how I knew who you were
don't
when
like
you
me because
walked
I
in here?
disagree with you,
Let
man.
me tell you.
We
no,
have
no,
too much of this.
No, no, no. Let me tell you who you are, guy. Here's who you are.
This is good media. You're getting good content.
This is who you are. You walk up here, and you said, "What's your name?"
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that.
No. You said, "What's your name?" And then you say, "I call my friends to say, should I give these guys this?" You know the name, you know the show, but you're the typical
I was
elitist,
trying to find if you use your whole
guy
first
that's
name.
Like, hey, so it's like the
I
player, but like,
apologize.
what's your name?
I
Because
apologize.
you're above everybody else
No,
as an elitist.
I
You
apologize.
position yourself as an
I
elitist
didn't
from
know.
Now, that was interesting. He knew the show. He messaged his friends about the show. But when he first walked into the show, Anthony's like, sorry, what's your name again? His name's literally the initials of the show. PPD is Patrick, I think it's Patrick Benedict, whatever. If you're if you're gonna go into the show with the giant ladders behind you, and Anthony Weiner's excuses, oh, I didn't know if you wanted to be called Pat or Patrick. Then I asked, hey, bro, is it Pat or Patrick? What do you prefer? Not what is your name again? But yeah.
The first second, and I was willing to give you a fair shake.
I apologize.
You walked off as an asshole, and
No.
that's what you're
I
getting.
apologize. I
Yeah.
apologize. I didn't know if you used the shortened version of your name. I should have researched that.
No,
and
no,
listened
you
to
didn't
how
say
it
that.
was.
You said, "What's your name?"
I know, but to see if you would give me a hint about what
No,
you said.
and then
People
when
do
I
it with
said,
me when
no,
I
no,
do Tony or
I got
Anthony.
a good memory
I
like
apologize.
you do, guy. You said,
I
"What's your
apologize.
name?"
So if I was to meet Anthony Weiner, I would say, if I was to ask, do you prefer Anthony or Tony? Not what is your name? If you were to walk up to Anthony Weiner, right, would you ask him what is his name, or would you ask if it's Tony or Anthony?
No, I'd say, do you like to go by Tony or Anthony?
Yeah. Personally, if either of you me walked up to Anthony Weiner, we probably wouldn't be asking him his fucking name or what he goes by, to be honest. But yeah,
I said Patrick. Then you
I always find that like what's your name or what do you go by is pretty cringe, to be honest. But
ask, do you prefer Pat or Patrick? If you
I
knew
was
my
trying
name
to
is
be-
Patrick, you would have eliminated one of the questions and you would have asked. So the point is, and by the way,
I was
here's
hoping
the part.
you'd identify yourself.
I identify
You're
myself
right. I
as a
apologize.
male, as a father, as an entrepreneur.
I
But to
apologize.
go back to your question.
I apologize. Do you accept my amends? I apologize.
Sure,
for
I
that.
respect
I
the game.
apologize for that.
But the point I'm making to you is if you come in like that and I'm asking you a question, you react
You're
the way
reading
you
too
do.
much into it. You're reading too much. I apologize for that. That was socially wrong
Yeah.
of me to do. I was trying to learn whether you go by Pat or Patrick.
Socially
I apologize.
wrong.
I could have asked one of your I could have asked people. I apologize for that.
Anthony, when
and
you-
I hope you accept my amends for that.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you
so there's the actual. That's the
I'd
whole.
love to know where the full podcast is, like
So-
not the clips.
Yeah. So here's the link here.
Oh,
It-
okay, cool.
Oh no, hang on. That's the meltdown.
And hang on, is that it? Anthony Weiner Meltdown PBD Ep 287, and it says 1 hour 51. That's it. That must be it.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, I've actually got it through the embed. Now that's cool.
Yeah. So, thoughts?
Oh man. yeah, I've said everything, but like it's just crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like, wow, how did he do that? How did you get him to do that? Oh,
so-
that's the most epic thing I've ever seen.
So it hasn't gone well for Anthony Weiner, and obviously it's obviously the media is throwing him under the bus. So Anthony Weiner lashes out after podcast host tells him he's always been known for sending explicit photos to underage girls. Now this is somewhat bullshit because it wasn't about that. Anthony Weiner got shitty when he started rattling off the names. Not about that, but anyway. But yeah, so like even like some of these websites are starting to throw Anthony Weiner under the bus. Anthony Weiner loses it as podcast host drags him over underage girls while flogging Hillary Clinton murder conspiracy theorists. Disgraced former Democrat New York representative Anthony Weiner lost his cool on a podcast floating around in a bizarre right-wing conspiracy theory about Bill and Hillary Clinton and murdering people. Here is the Straight Arrow News. Big boy Anthony Weiner loses his freaking mind when someone suggests big girl Hillary Clinton has a body count. But this is mostly leans right news. Friends urging a disgraced Anthony Weiner to run for office. So this is why I think he did the podcast. Friends and allies of Anthony Weiner are urging the disgraced ex-congressman to stage a political comeback. The former Pearl raised eyebrows after he attended the Inner Circle charity dinner with his estranged wife, Aberdeen, last Saturday. I think he was going to try and make a political bid for White House, for office. Now, here's the thing. This is what people don't know. People would think like he's got no chance of winning. Why would he bother? The thing is that by running for the White House, he makes money as it is. From my understanding, it's actually quite financially beneficial, even just announcing that you're going to go through and you're going to run for White House, because obviously you go through, you set up your campaign, you start paying staff members, you can get some of your friends and family to run the staff things. There's a little bit of money that changes hands. You can go through and do your PACs, all this sort of stuff, right? So at the end of the day, it's quite beneficial, even though people are like, he would never win, which I totally believe he would never win. But at the end of the day, it's still beneficial because he still makes money just by announcing that he's running because of all these PACs and stuff like that. Is there anything else that we want to talk about, or?
I think that's epic. Yeah, I think you've that's amazing. I'm speechless. It's like,
yeah.
Wow.
So you reckon he's going to try and run for Parliament or White House?
No, he's destroyed. Anthony Weiner's destroyed.
After that podcast, I think he would be, but I think before that podcast, he fully planned to run. Which is why I think he was doing the rounds, the podcast.
Yeah. Anthony Weiner's gonna have an axe to grind now.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
So, guys, we do have another story, and it's going to be one of those decentralized or demonetized days. New Zealand shooting in Auckland before the World Cup kills 2. I heard there was also 3 or 4 people injured as well. New Zealand is in mourning after shooting in Auckland after 2 people left dead hours before the city opened to FIFA Women's World Cup. Well, I suppose that's one way to get attention, isn't it? 6 others, including police officers, were injured, and the gunman is also dead after the incident. It happened at 7:22 a.m., which is roughly about our 10:22 or 11:22 our time, which is why we were literally on the air when this broke and we didn't notice it. A construction site in the central business district was the target. Reportedly, he did work at the site, which was why he was able to go there. You're probably wondering why. What do you mean by that? This is a guy that was known to the police departments for domestic violence and abuse.
Really?
Yes. He was on house arrest. The only way he was allowed to leave his house was to go to his job at the construction site. Guess where he did the shooting? At the construction site. So with no political ideology or motive for the attack has been identified, we've heard that before, police have neutralized the threat, it's a nice way to put it, The shooter, 24-year-old Mung Thung Ming Reed. Did I get even close to that? Tore through a construction site. Really? Tore through a construction site with a pump-action shotgun, plugging the busy centre of New Zealand's largest city into the busy centre of New Zealand's city into lockdown.
I know, right? What? The mainstream media are using that word, tore through.
Yes.
Oh, that's so. Man. Sensitivity much?
Yeah, he tore through a construction site and he plunged the biggest city into lockdown. It's very dramatic. The man, known to police, had a history of family violence and mental health issues. He had been the subject to home detention order but had an exemption to work at the site. He did not have a license to own a firearm. So all the people out there that are sitting there saying, if we just make guns illegal, then people will stop getting shot. Can you please tell me how a guy who did not have a license, obviously didn't want to break the law, right, got a gun?
Very good question.
Mr. Hopkins addressed the family of its victims in the speech, saying the whole motion is mourning with you. The victim went to work this morning, as they do every morning, but they won't be coming home tonight, he said. Police are looking specifically into the man, how he got a firearm, despite New Zealand's strict gun laws. What do you think?
Yeah, gun laws don't work, from what I can tell.
What do you mean they don't work? I thought every criminal under the sun would follow the gun laws. Because they're not criminals. Right?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to live in a fantasy world, you can believe that.
Yeah, and while people believe that, I've also got a very large bridge I'd like to sell them.
Yeah. How much are you selling that bridge for?
Oh, $5 million.
They might be asking.
Yeah, $5 million, and it goes nowhere. But yeah, at the end of the day, obviously the very interesting thing here, first of all, we're going to mention is the fact that the BBC has not got a photo of the shooter. Interesting. And also the fact is that obviously they're going through and they're talking about like how, at least give them credit because they talked about the fact he didn't have a gun license, because that kind of goes against their own narrative some points. But obviously here is the Guardian. New Zealand shooting, gunman kills 2 in Auckland. Hours would be World Cup opening. Although if I had to sit through women playing soccer, I probably want to go shoot people too. Joking! I know it's early. 2 people have been killed, 6 injured after shooting in Auckland City Thursday morning. Come on, they lost to 15 boys playing soccer. Like, how do you lose to an under 15-year-old team? Hours before the Women's World Cup kicked off there. New Zealand Prime Minister Chris Hipkins, said the gunman was also dead and there was no national security risk to increase the national threat. Channel 9 has also covered it. People have had enough. New Zealand politicians slams justice system after Auckland shooting. A former New Zealand Deputy Prime Minister has hit out at Auckland's justice system after yesterday's fatal shooting. Says crime in the city has been disastrously escalating. Wow, that's quite interesting.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, actually, I mean, have you noticed crime has been increasing, like all over the world?
Yes.
Yeah. It's not just America or anything. It's happening everywhere.
Yep. France is currently burning.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of strange things going on. Like really strange things going on with like mental issues. You know?
Yeah. Well, this guy was known to police and had mental issues.
Yeah, and one of the things I've noticed as well, people are acting in sort of dehumanized ways. Do you want me to like explain what I mean, or?
Yeah, sure. I know what you mean, but for the people playing at home.
Yeah, so if you look at the certain behaviors people are engaging in online and out and about in IRL, you might notice that there's sort of like a crisis of humanity in people. Um, for example, I've seen I saw a clip the other day of like a Chinese guy. He just fell over and died, and then all these other people around did absolutely nothing. There's a delivery guy who basically just moves his leg over so that he can get his trolley through to finish his delivery and leave.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. Another one is the TikTok NPC trend.
Yeah,
where-
we were supposed to cover that today, but yeah, completely forgot.
People, if you break down the psychology of why that is a thing, you can also unpack ASMR. Because the first part of it is the NPC trend is these girls stripping everything that is human about being female and giving just raw female emojis. And that's what the people watching it want. They just want the raw emoji as an act without any human part. That's why they're acting so NPC-like. And if you pull back to ASMR has a similar thing. The only reason that someone would need to listen to ASMR is because they're longing for a sound that no longer exists in the natural world.
So,
because of the way that we live.
just to explain to people what the NPC trend is, I have this video here. Let's just play this because for me and you, we know what this is, but for the average day person at home has probably no idea. So let's just play this for a couple of minutes.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Money gun, I got your name. Wow, a lot of gift for you. Yes, yes, yes. Hee-haw, yes. You gotta feel like a cowgirl. Let me write it down. Hee-haw, yes. You gotta feel like a cowgirl. Let me write it down. Oh, take it, baby. This is so cute. Yes, yes, yes. Go crazy, go crazy. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Hee-haw, yes. You gotta feel like a cowgirl. Let me write it down. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, thank you, baby. This is so cute. Cal, money gun, I got your name. Wow, I wanna give for you. Yes, that's a great vibe. That's a great vibe. That's a great vibe. You know the vibe. Oh, thank you, baby. I love you. Oh, thank you, baby. I love you.
Now, you're probably sitting at home thinking, what the fuck are we watching? And you're not the only one thinking that. Because I'm thinking it too.
It's a repetitive dialogue tree act.
Like, don't get me wrong. I can understand why she probably has millions of viewers. I'm thinking it probably has something to do with her bust. Don't get me wrong. She's gorgeous. She has big tits. She looks good. But at the end of the day, and by the way, you go through these comments that people are posting, right? And don't worry, guys, we're going to mute it the second time around we're playing. But obviously, like, here, get that bag, girl. Someone's posted under that their phone number. Here's another one. She's tired ASF. Someone else, phone number. Yes, strong woman. Get the money, girl. I respect. Someone else, phone number. Stop posting your phone number to these girls. You fucking simps. They don't care. She's not going to ring you. But what will happen is a bunch of scammers will sit there and think, free phone number? Okay.
Yeah. The other thing too, though, is it's not just the simping, but like there is. Let me see if I can get this thought out. one thing is to simp, and obviously, the act of simping, it's like to find a girl on a stream of some kind and to throw money at them and
Well,
all
even
that
in
sort of lovely
even in
stuff,
real
right?
life, it works too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and in real life too, of course, yeah. But like, you've got to ask. You can simp on on a girl on a stream in many different ways. You can do it on many different websites.
Yeah.
Why specifically would they be watching that?
Well, I can think of 2 reasons that are currently bouncing.
Well, no, that's not it. That's not it, because those can be found on many other streams. And there's many mediums in which to access the bouncy bust, right? It's the content as well as the girl. Like, one of the things that maybe some people don't fully understand is that simping is a combination of accessing the girl and the content of which she's producing, because a lot of people don't give credit to that. Like, if you look at at the titty streamers on Twitch, a lot of people think that the only reason people go there is just to look at the girl. It's like, no, you credit where credit is due. The content that the girl is producing is actually really, really good and interesting to that specific audience. They're not there just for the girl. They're there for what she's producing. Like, the things that she's saying, the interactivity, all of that. That, like, you actually have to do something. You can't just turn the camera on, sit there, and stare at it. You can't do that. You've got to be doing a thing, saying a thing.
You're saying this is the increase of the lonely male who is trying to find attention and communication through online means like streaming and stuff, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Sort of. It's escalated. The thing is that the fact that exists, that particular act, there's a psychology there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so what are they there for, right? They're there for the NPC act. Why are they there for the NPC act? It's because the breakdown of what these men are missing has escalated. And the age group, well, just look at the last 4 years of what's happened on Earth and in society. And you can start to figure out what has gone wrong. And what has gone wrong, in my opinion, is it has to have something to do with the lockdowns.
Well, no, like, this sort of stuff was going on before the lockdowns. We've always not this particular thing, but
yeah, I'm talking about that specifically.
I think this is, like, just an
escalated.
evolution. Yeah, it's just an evolution, but it was always going to evolve.
Not necessarily. The NPC meme on TikTok may not have happened if that generation of Zoomers didn't go through what happened in the last 4 years. That may have not escalated to that degree, or specifically that particular meme.
Well, no, we don't know how it would have evolved or changed depending on. I'm making
armchair. I'm making an armchair claim, I guess.
Yeah, but
I could be wrong.
I will say, yeah, and your views are your own. But what I was going to say was, but at the end of the day, we've always seen guys give money to scantily clad women on the internet. This is nothing new. It's just now they've gone to TikTok. And then the reason why this is blown up is because TikTok has brought in this new feature where you can send stickers. And that's what this is all.
Yeah.
This is all them sending stickers. This is basically guys sending money to a girl and she gives him attention. Because chances are these guys don't have a fucking girl in their real life to give them attention.
Yeah, what really concerns me, like what I'm really like worried about, and what should concern a lot of people, especially if they want to maybe treat these guys throwing this, because one day they're going to go to counseling, and this needs to be fixed, dude. And
Yeah.
like, why are they watching that? Like, what? Like, and the other thing too is who came up with it, right?
Well, dude,
I'll go out
it's
on a limb.
TikTok. It's TikTok. It's
Well, but
Chinese.
yeah, I'll go out on a I know, but I'll go out on a limb here and say that these girls didn't think of this on their own. Somebody gave them this idea.
Yeah.
And where did this come from?
China.
And yeah, but how is this is the freaky part that, like, if you really want to go down a rabbit hole, right? And we're not going to do it now, but like one day, like, this is somebody's rabbit hole to jump into, right?
Oh, we'll go down that someday.
Exactly how is China profiling the youth to figure out crazy shit like this?
Well, TikTok.
Like,
they have people's data from TikTok. They have their phones. They have their contact details. They have their social media habits, and they've probably got some AI or some marketing genius over in China who is sitting there thinking, hey, we can get a whole bunch of our Chinese kids to sit there on TikTok or WeChat and make things in fucking Meccana sets and engineering, and we can make our kids brainiacs. Okay, then what do we do to the West? Well, we make them dumb. We make them sit there and pretend they're eating ice cream on a fucking TikTok screen.
Yeah, it's just...
And then when they come to invade... And then they come to invade us. What are we doing? We're all sitting around talking about our fucking pronouns while they're shooting people.
Yeah. And the thing is what's freaky about it, though, is to not just profile the youth to, like, do stuff like this, but if you dig into it, the specific thing that the girls in that video are doing, like that NPC act, the removal of the humanity, that sort of like thing, right? Like, what AI or people, like, deep psychology, that, like, they've got a deep psychological understanding to be able to come up with weird shit like that, that's so specifically grabbing an audience that apparently is so mentally ill that that's what they would enjoy to sit and watch.
Because they've had years of this shit. They've had years of Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and all these sort of platforms. And this is sort of harping back to what we were covering yesterday, when like they say that Chinese Mao comes through, right? These idiots that are eating this up, you're going to be in the gulag next to us because you're no longer going to be useful. Once you've served your purpose, you are no longer needed.
I actually might also mention, I also have a sense of parallels to what's going on with the TikTok NPC meme. I feel certain parallels to some of the things that are written in Aldous Huxley's A Brave New World.
Just on a sec, this is interesting. I put up on the screen a video of people acting like NPCs, right? And it's like an NPC TikTok compilation. POV, you can find out how you can make an extra 2,000 to 4,000 a month by acting like an NPC. That's how it's spreading. People are pushing it.
Yeah, no, but remember, the dance requires both sides. It's not just that you push a certain content. There has to be an audience that is also receptive
because
to
it trends. Because it's trendy.
No, not. I don't think so. You can't force somebody to like such a weird thing.
Sure, you can. You call it trendy.
No. You can't. I think the mental illness was identified, and then the content was made to fill it. That's what I think.
Do you like these girls getting around with Balenciaga handbags and all this sort of shit, or these Gucci handbags?
Well, the way okay, let me try to explain it. So I think that they found a potential mental illness through the data that they get through TikTok, and then they hired a girl to do a thing that then they can artificially create the demand, and then it naturally spreads from there.
Yeah.
I think that's how
probably.
they did it.
Yeah, probably a combination of both. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's the men watching this. They have a very, very, very unique mental illness, and I think it's a product of how bad society is breaking down.
But we kind of are off track, and we probably should talk about the NPC thing one day. But getting back to the main topic was about the gunman, right? But yeah, it is linked.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, that's right. It is linked because like mental illness. 70% of all Americans were on pharmaceutical drugs. Every major shooter in the past 20 or 30 years over in America has been on SSRIs.
That's true too. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, were they on SSRIs because they're mentally ill, or are they on mentally ill because now they're on SSRIs? Well, however it's pronounced. But like I remember there was a guy who was a vet who was suffering from depression because he came back from Iraq. They gave him SSRIs. Now this is a guy who's a patriot, God-fearing Christian, said to me that he was in a bathroom with a gun about to shoot himself, self-delete.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to him, why? He goes, I don't know. I said, what do you mean you don't know? He goes, he's like, I don't know. I don't know what it was. He says, but whatever it was, he said, I stopped taking those SSRIs. And I said, yeah. And he said, I've never had that thought ever again.
This happens to some people, and I'll just say, I'm not sure what. Like, I don't think there's a study on this, so I don't know. I can only speculate based on the statistics that we do see that either it's a minority or a less than 50%, but still significant enough that because there's a lot of suicide out there, we know that. Crap! I said that word. Oh, sorry.
That's right.
There you go, the channel. Anyway, so basically, because I take SSRIs, I know people taking SSRIs, and there's also SNRIs too. Yeah. And they don't have this problem. I don't have that problem.
No, it's probably only a small percentage. It's probably like 2-3%.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one's saying it's
might.
like yeah.
Well, though it did happen to my mum. She took Prozac, and that happened to her with Prozac. It didn't happen with a different brand.
Yeah.
So this, I'm not sure what the mechanic is, but it's very bad. It can happen.
And now they've found out that the way these SSRIs are supposed to operate is through a chemical imbalance in the brain, and they're supposed to fix that. They're now thinking that the chemical imbalance in the brain is a side effect and not the initial cause of the depression or whatever, or bipolar or whatever it may be. So
yeah,
they've now. And by the way, this is something that Robert Kennedy Jr. has been saying for a while. This is something that Tom Cruise has been saying with like Scientology. That the SSRIs do not fix the problem; they only mask it.
The depression is a product of an environmental problem that's causing behavioral problems, behavioral issues. Like if you take an animal, right, and you put it in a environment that's not quite right, you will get pathologies in behavior. All right, so the pathologies in the behavior, including depression, and depression causes those pathologies, right? And so you put humans into whatever this society is, which I hate and I want off this planet. I have depression because I don't like I don't think we're supposed to live this way. There's so many problems with the way we're living. Yeah. You know?
I've said to you, how many times have I said to you in the past couple of weeks, build me a spaceship, Elon, I'm out of here, baby.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly,
like
yeah.
someone said to me the other day, they said, if you had one wish, what would it be? Mine would be that Stargate Universe was real and I was aboard Destiny.
Wow. Yes. Aboard Destiny. Yeah. Okay.
And they said to me, because we were talking about Stargate and they know about the show, they said it's a one-way trip. I said, fucking great.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Destiny is a one-way trip.
Yeah. And I said to him, the only thing I would miss is my family.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think of that.
But at the end of the day, it's like if I have the choice to go out and explore the universe, I'm taking it. Especially considering how much of a bang-up job the elites are doing on this planet. But
Yeah.
But anyway, obviously at the end of the day, we do know the guy. We're not going to give him credit by mentioning his name. But at the end of the day, I think we do have a photo of him. Here he is. So at the end of the day, he's exactly what you would expect to be, a white nationalist, I suppose. He looks exactly how I thought, that he would be. I'm pretty sure that the Proud Boys are... Well, actually, the Proud Boys would accept him, but I'm pretty sure the alt-right is sending him an application right now for joining their ranks because he happens to be the right colour. Yeah, we went there. We went there. What do you reckon? You're like, I'm not commenting on this.
Yeah, what you said.
Yeah.
No comment on that.
I do believe that name is a Kiwi name, so I believe he is probably married. And look,
that was my guess.
Yeah. And look, he's obviously got problems with domestic violence and abuse. I'm guessing if we looked into it, he probably grew up with a single mother. If I'm guessing here, I'm going to say probably a single mum or an alcoholic or drug father. If the father is in the picture at all, which I doubt.
Yeah. Yes, there's probably an argument to be said that maybe the Maoris do have something to be angry about.
Yeah. We're not saying they don't. But what I am saying is that the destruction of the family probably is not beneficial right now.
No.
Yeah. Anybody looking at this is probably sitting there thinking, this poor kid was trapped in the system and probably didn't have much of a love life or anybody that really cared for him much. If I had to guess, I'm guessing here, but if I had to guess,
yeah, young men are not getting any.
No.
There is a huge. Oh gosh, that's another topic that we shouldn't. Yeah, the sexlessness going on at the moment is epic.
Oh yeah, the virginity rate for men. This is the thing, right? Like this guy looks like he's probably a bit of a Chad. He's got a hat on back to front. He's sticking his tongue out. He looks like he probably had a few girls. He's got the bad boy image too, so that probably helped him a bit. But at the end of the day, he probably didn't have a dad. If the dad was around at all, if his dad was around, he was probably a drunk or an alcoholic. Yeah. He probably didn't have much of a support system. He's had society tell him that he's evil because he's a male. He's a straight male. I presume he's straight. Straight male, although that tongue sticking out makes you wonder. He's probably been told he's evil because he's straight. This is what happens. You go through and demasculate the youth. And at the end of the day,
telling me I'm evil and I'm going to go do an evil act.
Yeah.
That's possible too.
Yeah. All right.
Tell me I'm evil one more time.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, guys. Last story for the day. We were going to do 2 more, but to be honest, I need to go to bed soon. So we'll do the tank thing. Probably do it on Sunday night, Monday morning. Monday morning, sorry.
Yeah.
Let's talk Sound of Freedom because we are the unofficial channel of Sound of Freedom lately. Sound of Freedom has beat Indiana Jones at the box office for the day. Smashed it. Sound of Freedom made 4.722, so 4,722,496. By the way, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning only made $4,740. So $4,740, sorry, $147. It actually was off Mission Impossible's #1 spot by about $12, $18. Sorry, $12,000. Sorry. The difference between first and second, which is Mission Impossible and Sound of Freedom, was about $18,000, and that's it. So Sound of Freedom has just hit over $100 million for the box office. Not bad for a $15 million budget. It has seen exponential growth on last week's episode or last week's season viewing numbers on every day except on Tuesday. Tuesday is the only day where it didn't see some sort of growth. On Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday have all gone up since last week's numbers.
Why Tuesday?
So Tuesday last week was the first week where like it didn't have like so it came out on the 4th of July, which was a Monday or a Tuesday. So
I was just wondering like how weird it is that Tuesday was a specifically strange day. Yeah.
Well, maybe there was a whole bunch of cinemas that were cancelling or something. Who knows? Was that when all the TikToks started coming out about cinemas cancelling? But at the end of the day, obviously, yeah. But I think it was actually. But you know, Mission Impossible's doing all right. It's made $264 million already. It's made $95 million domestically, $169 internationally. They do need to sort of double that sort of money to sort of obviously go through and start making money. It needs to make about $500 million. But at the end of the day, it's you got to remember too, a lot of people that would go and see Mission Impossible have also gone through and probably seen Sound of Freedom. So to give you an idea, Fallout and Rogue Nation. Fallout made $791 million worldwide, and Rogue Nation, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, made $682 million worldwide.
It's not something to do with like Fallout the game, is it?
No. Fallout, Mission Impossible Fallout was the name. It's the 2018 title. So it does have a bit to grow. It is sort of lagging behind a little bit. But like I said, a lot of people are going to probably go and see Sound of Freedom before they go and see Fallout, I would say. So I'm expecting Mission Impossible over the next couple of weeks to be steady and constant. And it would probably get up close to, I'd say Mission Impossible is probably going to hit 600-700 million. I would say it's probably going to be probably a good effort. Like for example, like now I have a choice. So I want to go and see Sound of Freedom, but I also want to go and see Mission Impossible. If both those movies are at the cinema, I'm going to go and see Sound of Freedom before Mission Impossible. Just because I know Sound of Freedom probably is not going to be at the cinemas just as long. So if I want to go and see it, it'll be like, well, I want to see that first because I know that's probably going to be a more limited release. But I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you want to go and see Sound of Freedom if it was in Australia, or would you go and see Mission Impossible?
Yeah.
Or both?
If it shows up, if it shows up to be able to watch it, I'll go watch it.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, guys. Keep in mind that this is mostly domestic. Like, the international numbers are not reported here, so I don't know if it's not out internationally or if it's... or what. I have seen people claim that it's around very few cinemas. Let me see if I can find a... So, Sound of Freedom in Australia. Where to watch? Okay, streaming online. Nowhere. Sydney Morning Herald is talking about it. The QAnon adjacent film has become a massive blockbuster hit.
QAnon adjacent.
By the way, Donald Trump is now hosting the screenings at his golf clubs. I love it.
Trump.
I love it.
Oh, what a Chad.
But yeah, I can't see anywhere in Australia. Yeah. It's been phenomenally successful in the US. That there's clearly going to be an appetite for it globally.
Wow.
Another industry exec who asked not to be identified said he could speak freely, had no doubt Sound of Freedom would get a cinema release.
In Australia?
Probably, yeah.
Well.
Guys, you get to start calling the cinemas and asking them why it's not out. Where is it? We want Sound of Freedom.
Yeah.
Start
I
putting...
want my QAnon fix.
Well, it's not QAnon. It's
I'm kidding.
I know, but that's what they're using to sort of to label it that. To answer anybody's question at home, it's not a QAnon fix. It's a film. It's based on true events.
I know, it's a joke.
I know. I'm just clearing the record for them, right? Because you and I can joke about stuff like this, but they might not necessarily think it's a joke or know what the pretense is. They're claiming it's QAnon because they can discredit it. Yeah, but it's actually based on a real story. Guys, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Apart from that, is there yet again another 2-hour show? Is there anything that we haven't covered that you want to cover, or do you want to leave it for Monday morning, Tuesday night, Monday morning, Sunday night?
I think we've covered everything.
We got ourselves in enough trouble for the day.
I'd say so.
Yeah, we've covered Hillary Clinton getting body count. We covered a mass shooting over in New Zealand, and we covered Sound of Freedom.
Yep, I think I think we've done enough damage.
Yeah. YouTube's probably like, wrap this up so I can delete it. Surprise, motherfuckers! I'm also recording. But guys, that's what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Obviously, guys, we will be back on Monday morning, Sunday night. There will be no shows tomorrow or the day after. Just because this little duck has to work his ass off and do about 24 hours in 2 days.
Yeah, but realistically, we just don't work weekends.
Well, I do. Fuck my boss. No, but seriously, I'm about to do 24 hours in 2 days.
Damn.
Yeah. Fuck a duck. Guys, apart from that, we will see you Monday morning, Sunday night. If you're in America, it is the call-in show. If you do have anything you want to talk about, anything to get off your chest, if you want to call in and you're Anthony Weiner and you want to call us a conspiracy theorist, please do. I would love to have an argument about it over with you. But anybody else also wants to call in, obviously we do have a Discord link in the description below. Please go and obviously jump in the Discord. And on Sunday night, Monday morning, depending on Australia or US time, we will be opening up the show. And basically, you guys can just talk about whatever you want, within reason, obviously. If you start going on about religious groups or anything like that, then or anything to get us banned, then we'll pull the plug. But apart from that, yeah. Want to say bye?
Bye.
Bye. See you, everybody. I'm Dr. Nick. Alright guys, have a good night, enjoy yourself, we'll see you on Monday morning, Sunday night. I'm waving, but I don't have arms.